In the vast, untamed wilderness of the United States, thousands of people vanish each year without a trace. Some are found, others never seen again. But then there are those disappearances that defy explanation. Cases so chilling, so unsettling, they leave even seasoned investigators grasping for answers. Were these victims claimed by nature, or something far more sinister? Let's delve into 5 of the most disturbing and unsolved disappearances in American history. Be sure to listen closely, because once you hear these stories, you may not want to go back into the woods again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wicked Encounters, where we explore just what goes bump in the night. I'm your host, Allie, and today my sexy, deep voice is caused by COVID. Yay! Don't worry, though, I'm absolutely fine. It's just my voice that's suffering, if you want to call this suffering. Today, we're going to delve into 5 of the most baffling and terrifying missing person cases in American history. Let's get started, shall we? This first tale is a story that has haunted the Great Smoky Mountains for over 50 years. June 14th, 1969. It was supposed to be a fun Father's Day weekend for the Martin family, a time to bond in the great outdoors. 6-year-old Dennis, his brother Doug, and their father William had hiked into the lush and dense wilderness of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Joined by the rest of their family, they set up camp at Spence Field, a serene, open meadow surrounded by thick forest. But as peaceful as Spence Field may seem, it would soon become the setting for an unspeakable nightmare. On that fateful afternoon, Dennis, eager to play, decided to join in a playful game of hide-and-seek with his brother and 2 other children that were nearby. Dennis's father, William, watched as his son ventured into the tree line, hiding himself just beyond the thick brush. But when the children finished their game, Dennis wasn't among them. At first it seemed innocent enough. He was only a few feet away, or so his father thought. Yet the minutes ticked by, and Dennis was nowhere to be found. As panic set in, William rushed into the dense undergrowth where Dennis had last been seen, but found nothing. It was as if the earth had swallowed his son whole. The search for Dennis was immediate. Rangers, volunteers, and eventually the National Guard were called in. Over the next few days, the search grew to over 1,400 people scouring every inch of the park. Helicopters flew overhead. Bloodhounds combed the forest, and yet there was no trace of the little boy. No footprints, no clothing, not a single clue. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. Several miles away, deep within the park's borders, a man named Harold Key was hiking with his family on the same day Dennis vanished. According to Key, he heard a scream, high-pitched and desperate. Not long after, he claimed to have seen a rough-looking man dart through the woods nearby. Could this mysterious figure have been involved in Dennis's disappearance? While some dismiss Key's sighting as unrelated, others have speculated a much more sinister theory, that Dennis may have fallen victim to something or someone lurking in the mountains. Could it have been an abduction? Or, as some have whispered in hushed tones, could something even more terrifying be hiding in those dark woods? As the days turned into weeks, hope began to fade. The search was officially called off after 2 exhausting weeks, while Dennis's whereabouts were still a complete mystery. To this day, no one knows what happened to Dennis, but the theories persist. Some believe Dennis wandered too far and met a tragic accident, his body hidden forever in the unforgiving wilderness. Others suggest he was taken by a predator, either human or otherwise. And then there are those who suggest a far darker possibility, whispers of strange creatures that roam the Appalachian wilderness. Could Dennis have encountered something supernatural that day? Creatures like a cryptid, or maybe something far more dangerous and unknown? Those who venture into the Smoky Mountains say they still feel a strange, unsettling presence, as if they're being watched. To this day, Dennis Martin's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing cold cases in U.S. history. A child, here one moment, and gone the next. Did he simply get lost? Or did something far more sinister occur? We may never know, but the wilderness keeps its secrets well, and perhaps one day, the mountains will finally reveal the truth. What do you think happened to Dennis Martin? July 17th, 1981, began like any other day for 14-year-old Stacey Ann Aras. She was enjoying a camping trip in Yosemite National Park with her father and a group of friends. They had just arrived at Sunrise High Sierra Camp, a remote spot surrounded by the breathtaking beauty of the wilderness. But that beauty was about to turn sinister. After setting up camp, Stacey decided to take a short walk to snap some photos of a nearby lake. It was a walk that should have lasted mere minutes, but Stacey never came back. She was accompanied by an older man from the group for the first part of her hike, but as they neared the lake, the man grew tired and stopped to rest. Stacey continued on alone, disappearing over a small hill. She was never seen again. The search for Stacey, too, was immediate. Within hours, dozens of search and rescue personnel, helicopters, and tracking dogs were scouring the area, but despite their best efforts, not a single trace of her was found. No clothing, no footprints, no camera, nothing. Yosemite National Park covers over 1,100 square miles of mountainous terrain, full of deep forests, jagged cliffs, and hidden dangers. But Stacey disappeared in broad daylight, on a well-traveled trail, within shouting distance of her group. How could she vanish so completely? There are many theories. Perhaps she fell into a crevice, or she had been swept away by a hidden current. Could wild animals have been responsible? Or was something else at play? Over the years, some have speculated that Stacey's disappearance may be linked to the paranormal. Yosemite has long been rumored to be home to strange, unexplained phenomena, from ghostly apparitions to the eerie sensation of being watched. Many visitors have reported feeling an unsettling presence in the park. Stacey's case is one of the many unsolved disappearances in U.S. national parks. Some believe they hide something that preys on those who wander too far from the trail. But is it a cryptid? A hidden predator in the woods? Or could it be something darker? Something beyond our comprehension? More than 4 decades have passed since Stacey vanished, and no new clues have surfaced. Her family is left with nothing but unanswered questions, their daughter lost to the wilderness, or to something much more terrifying. Was it a tragic accident? Or was Stacey taken by something we don't yet understand? Until we have answers, one thing is certain. The forests of Yosemite are keeping their secrets, and Stacey Aras is one of them. Some stories are so chilling, so strange, they blur the line between reality and nightmare. This is one of those stories. The disappearance of Kenny Veach is a mystery that has haunted the internet for nearly a decade, and it all began with an obsession. In 2014, Kenny Veach, a seasoned hiker and adventurer, posted a comment on YouTube about an unsettling discovery he made while hiking in the Mojave Desert. He claimed to have found a cave with a strange, almost unnatural M shape, but there was something else. As he approached, his body was overcome with vibrations, a feeling so overwhelming it forced him to turn back. Veach swore to return and explore it further. It would be the last journey he would ever make. Months later, Kenny set out to find the mysterious cave again, but this time he would not return. His final YouTube video, titled M Cave Hike, shows him preparing for the expedition. He was excited, confident, and unaware of the chilling fate that awaited him. When Kenny Veach didn't return from his hike, his girlfriend reported him missing. Search and rescue teams scoured the vast desert landscape, retracing his steps, but what they found only deepened the mystery. All they discovered was Kenny's cell phone, left abandoned near a remote mine shaft. But there was no sign of Kenny. No body, no tracks, no clues, nothing. The internet exploded with theories. Some believed Kenny stumbled upon something he shouldn't have. A government secret, perhaps, an underground base. Maybe even something extraterrestrial. Others speculate that the M Cave was a gateway to something else. Be it hell, another dimension, or, well, who knows? Could it have been a cursed location? Or could it have been something worse? Was Kenny drawn into something evil? Something watching from the shadows? It's hard to gauge what it could be, as this story just doesn't really sit right. The idea of an invisible force, vibrations so intense they make a seasoned hiker flee. Could it be an ancient site with some sort of dark energy? There have been cases where people encounter inexplicable sensations before vanishing without a trace. Could Kenny have disturbed something that didn't want to be found? To this day, no trace of Kenny Veach has ever been found. The M Cave, if it exists, remains hidden in the heart of the Nevada desert, a place now full of terror and unanswered questions. Did Kenny Veach unlock something that should have stayed hidden? Or is his fate a tragic accident, lost in the desolate wasteland? We may never know. But one thing is certain, Kenny's story is a terrifying reminder that some places are better left unexplored. The desert keeps its secrets, and so does the M Cave. In the early hours of a chilly February morning in 1978, 5 friends set out for a trip that would lead them into one of the most chilling mysteries in American history. The Yuba County Five vanished without a trace, leaving behind questions that haunt us to this day. Gary Mathias, Jack Madruga, William Sterling, Ted Wire, and the youngest, 24-year-old. They were all young men from Yuba County, California, known for their love of sports and camaraderie. But on February 24th, 1978, their ordinary lives took a harrowing turn. The group had planned to attend a college basketball game in Chico, California, but after the game, they never returned. Their families became worried and alerted the authorities, but the search that followed would uncover even more chilling truths. A massive search effort was launched, involving over 300 volunteers, search dogs, and helicopters. But the search was complicated by the rugged terrain of the Sierra Nevada. After several days, hope began to fade. Then, on June 4th, 1978, an unsettling discovery was made. The remains of the 5 friends were found in a remote area of the Sierra Nevada, miles away from where their car had been abandoned. But the details of their deaths were more perplexing than anyone could have imagined. Inside their abandoned car, police found it locked, with no sign of struggle. The keys were missing, and the men's personal belongings were untouched. But the eeriest part? It was discovered that the group had walked over 20 miles into the wilderness, despite having a full tank of gas. Why didn't they just drive away? As the investigation continued, strange details emerged. A diary found in the area indicated that the men had been alive for weeks after their disappearance. Witnesses claimed to have seen them in a nearby town acting strangely. Were they being followed? Were they drugged? Theories range from a tragic accident to alien abductions. Some believe the men may have encountered a wild animal, while others speculate about foul play. But the truth remains shrouded in mystery. What really happened to the Yuba County Five? Their families were left with that unanswered question, and their story continues to resonate with those who dare to delve into the unknown. In 1991, a young boy named Jared Negrete vanished without a trace. What happened that fateful day continues to haunt his family and the small town of San Juan Capistrano. Jared was a vibrant 9-year-old, full of life and curiosity. On the morning of July 24th, 1991, he was playing outside with friends. It was a typical summer day, but everything was about to change. Jared and his friends decided to explore a nearby canyon, a place that was both alluring and dangerous. As they ventured deeper, the excitement turned into confusion when Jared suddenly disappeared. His friends called out for him, but there was no answer. Panic set in as they searched the area, but Jared was nowhere to be found. And so the search for Jared began. Local authorities, family, and volunteers scoured the canyon for days. Search dogs were brought in for the ground below, and helicopters hovered above, but still there was no sign of the boy. As days turned into weeks, the hope of finding him alive began to fade. Rumors began to swirl. Some claimed to have seen a mysterious figure in the canyon around the time of Jared's disappearance. Others spoke of strange lights in the sky that night. Was it just a coincidence? Months later, an eerie twist emerged. People in the area reported unsettling occurrences. Disembodied whispers, shadowy figures lurking in the woods, and a sense of being watched. Could these phenomena be connected to Jared's disappearance? The community was gripped by fear. Despite extensive searches and numerous leads, Jared Negrete was never found. His case remains unsolved, a haunting mystery that has left a scar on the community. Every year, on the anniversary of his disappearance, the townsfolk gather to remember him, hoping for answers and fearing what might have taken him. What happened to Jared Negrete? Was he a victim of an unfathomable force, or did he simply wander too far off into the unknown? Missing person cases, especially those involving a child, can be emotionally taxing. But I do genuinely hope you enjoyed learning about them. As horrible as it can be, the more people who know about a missing persons case, the better the chance that their families can get answers. Remember to be safe whenever you go out camping, or even just going out and about on your own. A rule I follow is to always be sure someone knows where I am. I always have a full cell phone charged, and the hatchet in the backseat of my car isn't for decor purposes. What advice do you have for anyone going camping? Do you want to know about more missing person cases? Let me know in the comments. I read them all and love hearing from you guys and knowing what you'd like to see next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more haunted history and paranormal tales. I'd like to give a big thank you to our patrons over on Patreon, especially to our VIP campers Lex Pralius and Nakala. You guys are great, and I'm so incredibly thankful for your support, for everyone's support. Well, that's all I have time for now. Remember, I'm Allie, this is Wicked Encounters, and I'll see you next time. Bye!